Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today I want to talk to you about why your mental well-being matters more than the numbers in your bank account. And I know that a lot of people understand how their mental well-being can be much improved by having a nice, juicy, full bank account of money that awards them freedoms, that awards them options, that awards them choices, and gives them the opportunity to invest in things that actually support their well-being. I know that everybody understands that. But today I want to flip that on its head and talk about why your mental actually makes a difference even when you are in a deficit of resources, because that's all money is. It's just a resource. Now, I consider myself to be a resourceful person, and I say this quite lovingly because I have lived through many seasons and chapters of my life where I have not been in a good financial situation. I don't come from a wealthy family. I have not been awarded giant sums of money in terms of being made redundant or in terms of inheritance. I've never been awarded things like houses. These things are not things. I did win a Mini once, but it was an old Mini Austin in a walkabout competition. And although I'm very grateful for that experience, it didn't alter my lifetime finances significantly. It gave me 600 quid when I was a student, which, I pissed up the wall, as most students would. Now, the thing is, I have been through many seasons. I've also been through a season, and this is total transparency, I've also been through a season where I've earned very good money for a number of years and not seen the benefit of that money because of the financial situation I was in at home. And I've also experienced then having a massive drop in income and having to go back to the resourcefulness and reserves of previous times to survive. I don't mind saying publicly on this podcast, on our socials or wherever, I am a single mother of two, and I am holding the fort financially, completely independently. And that's a tricky thing to be in this day and age with the current economy being as it is. And I've suffered lots of different things in my life that would constitute financial abuse, which means that, I'm not in the position I should be for the situation financially that people might think I am on the outside. Am I doing all right? Absolutely. Because I have things that money cannot buy. I also have an aura that money is attracted back to. Every single time I go through a hardship period, I am rewarded at the end of that with more resources, financial and otherwise, than ever before. I do believe sometimes that I am being put through Herculean trials in regards to life and lessons from the universe, but there's always something wonderful at the end of it, okay? And I believe wholeheartedly that there are some things that are more than money, and that money is just a symbol of abundance, and actual abundance can be created from anywhere, okay? And I think the way that we need to look about this and kind of consider this is that resources, if you was to remove one resource, you would still look at other resources, okay? So you're a farmer and you have cows and you have plants that you are growing and you have a greenhouse and, you have all of these different areas. You have chickens and eggs. If the chickens go down, you've still got meat. You might not have eggs, you might not have poultry. You still got milk from the cows. You've still got the beef from the cows. You've still got the full fields worth of all the different veggies that you're growing. You've still got your greenhouse. But we don't look at that when we think about money. We make money the be all and end all of all things, which I think is a massive mistake. Do we want to strive to have more money in our lives? Yes, but this is an abundance metric within ourselves that we need to unlock and allow for things to flow in. We do not ignore all of the other resources that are available to us just to focus on that one thing. And if we do, we're going to let all of those other resources die. And that means that we then become completely and utterly dependent on that one resource, the one resource that we are lacking, the one resources that we are chasing, rather than allowing that to come back in different ways. And that is why I believe that your mental well-being is far more important than the numbers in your bank account. Money exists everywhere. There is so much money in this world, so much so that it is hoarded by billionaires across the globe in stashes that would blow our tiny little minds in regards to trying to figure out what those volumes of cash actually look like. It's also being printed all the time. Currencies being created all the time. There is an exchange in things for money and experiences and feelings for money all the time. If you've ever had a mindset of flipping something, you may understand this better than somebody who has not. If you've ever flipped something, you'll probably know what I mean. But if you haven't, let me explain to you what flipping something is. So a lot of people will have heard the term, it's only worth what somebody will pay for it. And that normally comes with a side dish of negative connotation. It's only worth what somebody will pay for it. I want you to flip that on its head. It's only worth what somebody will pay for it. And that's absolutely bloody correct. If you've ever been somewhere and bought something for £2 and then found a fanatic who loves that thing, who wants that thing, that needs that thing to completely complete their collection or whatever, you'll probably find that they'll pay 3 times that, £6, £12, £24, £124, because the value to that other person is not the same value metric as it is to you. That is why you can always make more money. That is why you can always create new avenues of income for yourself. That is why the way that you look at the world, the way you frame it, the way you think about it, and what you do in action on the back of those belief systems and mental frameworks is everything in terms of being able to create more money. The bank account, the bank balance can always be built up as long as your mindset will allow you the opportunity to do so. Does that mean that the person who's paid that £124 is a sucker because your value system to that item is different to theirs? No, because you would walk down the street and you would find something that you value that doesn't have the same value center to somebody else, and you would pay and probably still believe that that's a bargain and enjoy that thing. We see this all the time with houses, okay? It is personal preference, it is personal lived experience, it is what the thing that the person is buying represents, it's what that brings to their life, it's what the enjoyment factor is for them. Much like if I'm stood at a sweet stall and I don't like orange chocolate, say for instance I don't like Terry's chocolate orange, which obviously is ridiculous, but let's just for the sake of this say that I don't. And there's a chocolate orange there, Terry's chocolate orange there. I'm not going to pay £2 for that Terry's chocolate orange if I don't like chocolate orange, but the next person who loves chocolate orange and hasn't had a Terry's chocolate orange in 5 years, keeps waiting for one to turn up in their stocking at Christmas and has been disappointed for the last 5 years, comes across that Terry's chocolate orange and would pay the £2 just to have that experience, Maybe it's connected to a memory. Maybe it's connected to an enjoyment factor. Maybe that's just the thing that they fancy right now. It's the thing that their life is missing right this second. Doesn't make the item less valuable just because I didn't want that particular item at that time. We don't measure the products and services that we put out in that same way. We put them out and 10 people say no and we go, oh, nobody wants this then. Nobody's interested in this. This isn't a viable product. That's not true. You're just not putting it in front of the right person. Don't get me wrong. Marketplaces can be saturated. Sometimes the pricing structures can be pushed because of the amount of competition and saturation that is out there for a similar product or service. This is where branding comes in. This is where market placement comes in. And as you guys already know, if you listen to this podcast regularly, I could bang on about that all day. And there will be many episodes where you'll be able to get more information about those types of things as well. But I just want to fall back on that your mindset is everything. If you don't believe in a thing, it won't fly. If you can't get other people to believe in a thing, it won't fly. If you don't have the emotional and energetic capacity to get something off the ground, it won't fly. You are never without options unless your mental and emotional well-being is on the floor. And if your emotional and mental well-being is on the floor, then that's worse than a negative bank account, because then you're in a situation where you actually have to look for resources to fix the mental and emotional stuff first. And everybody I know that is open and honest and true will admit that sometimes our emotional and mental health is on the freaking floor. We all go through periods where it's difficult, no matter what. And I can tell you now that money makes often very little difference to those. You can always get more money. You can always replenish money. You can always create extra income. You can magnify your abundance. You can triple times X the money that you spend and bring it back to yourself if you have the energetics correct within yourself and your mental and well-being state is in a good place. Okay? So if you're feeling a bit like, I'm emotionally in a really good place right now, but financially things are a bit, you're in an excellent place to go selling. You're in an excellent place to go and fill that abundance gap. Open all of the doors to income. Open the doors to all of the opportunity. Allow them to flood in. Allow yourself to open all the potentials for you building up the bank account, because your energetics are right. It will come to you. The money will come and stick to you like glue. But if you don't have the energetics right, if you don't have the mental health and well-being, you don't have the emotional well-being, that's the bit that you need to combat first, okay? And remember, look for the resources you do have. Do you have excellent relationships with friends? Do you have ways in which you can count micro pleasures? Do you journal? Can you rely on positive psychology? Do you understand the energetics of gratitude? Do you know how to do breath work? Can you feed yourself well? Can you take care of yourself well? Can you sleep well? Can you work out? Can you get yourself in some sunshine? Can you find a way to dig deep and find out what it is that's knocked you off kilter so that you can start to work towards building yourself back up from the outside in? Whatever you need to do, go do it. But by all means, please do not believe that your bank balance is the handcuffs in which is holding you back from everything that you want, because it's not. The only thing that can hold you back is your belief system and your mind and your health.